Hey guys, welcome back to Idaho Fabricator. I'm Steven, and today, ride height. How do you figure it out and why it's important? And so I thought, let's start on the front of my truck. Let me show you what I did for ride height and that. And then we're gonna go to the back and I'm gonna show you how I fix that too. So on the front, I'm gonna pull this tire out so you can get in there with the camera. You see it all right? And I'm going to turn on a flashlight because, okay, so what I did on the front was I took a piece of threaded rod right here, okay, and then down below, if you look, right up in here, I welded it to a piece of tubing, so it kind of makes a T. And the idea was I'm replacing the shock absorber with this adjustable rod. Up inside here is a nut, and then there's another nut on top. And by moving the nuts up and down, I can raise and lower the control arm to get it at ride height. Ride height with this kind of a suspension system, this Mustang 2, would have the control arm here level with the ground. Okay, so that's your ride height. Everything is set up in this suspension system based on this being level at ride height. Your camber, your caster, and all that stuff. Okay, so that's the front. That's how I set that up. And the reason I wanted it at ride height again was when I was putting the engine in, I needed to know the ride height so I could determine how low in the chassis I wanted the motor, how much the oil pan needs to stick down, all those kinds of things. So that's what I did on the front. And in the back, when I raise this truck up on the lift to work on it, the axle drops down. And so I don't know what the ride height is. It's right. And so if I'm fabbing the exhaust system, trying to figure that out, I need to know the clearances so that I can get the exhaust exactly where it needs to go. So when I'm driving the truck down the road, it works the way it's supposed to. So I had to come up with a way to hold the truck at ride height and to figure out what ride height is on the truck. Okay, so what I did was I put the truck on the ground and I had bedwood from Project 87, so I laid that in the bed of the truck. And then I took my fenders, set the rear fenders in the bed. I put the running boards on the truck. I had Sally get in the cab so that kind of simulates a driver. And then I added 200 more pounds of weight in the back for fuel in the tank, which is a little over 100 pounds. And then, let's see, the metal straps for the bed, the exhaust system, that's going to add weight to the truck. And bolts and hardware and bumper and all that kind of stuff. So I did all that, put the weight in, and then I got down here, laid on the ground, and I measured the center of this bolt here to the center of this mounting bolt on the coilover. And I came up with a measurement. It was 12.5 inches. So 12.5 inches is my ride height with the coilover spring. Okay? So then I had to come up with a way of holding this at 12.5 inches while I was on the hoist, while I was on the ground. I don't really need suspension to be working, while I'm fabbing. So, but I do need to know what ride height is for the exhaust and all those other things that I'm working on. So let me show you what I came up with. It's pretty cool and you guys are gonna love it. So let's go over to the table and I'll show you. So, right after I did my video on the Panhard bar, I got an email from D.W. Horton at Paul Horton Welder Series. And he watched my video, which is really cool. And he suggested that he might have the solution for me for the ride height, okay? So I looked in his catalog, and right on page 21, he has a brand new product. It's called a Ride Height Vehicle Setup Tool. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. I looked at the picture and it looked like, yeah, that would work pretty good. So you know what I did? I ordered one. And here it is in this box. straight from the Welder series. Let me show you what I got in there, because it's pretty cool. So he actually ships it with all the mounting hardware you need, which is totally cool. That means you don't have to go buy anything else. And here's the stuff, the way it comes. So let's cut this open, and I'll show you how it looks. It's pretty cool. So, just like on the Panhard brackets, everything is like laser cut. It's really put together good. And you'll notice, like on this end, the bigger hole here, that's for a 5/8 stud. And then the little one here is for a 1/2 inch. So depending on whether your coilover uses a 1/2 inch bolt or a 5/8 bolt, you're covered. And then these holes here are 3/8 holes, and they're all linked together, but what that means is you got 3/8 of an inch of adjustment, which is really cool. So you would take these tools and put them together, okay? And then you can either like put them together like this, okay, depending on what your measurement is, or you even get extensions. So let's open these up. I'll show you what these are. So this whole kit pretty much covers everything. So then you get these 2 extender brackets. So if your deal is really tall, you can, depending on what you're working on, maybe you're working on a 4x4 truck or something like that, doing the suspension on it, and you need, according to this goes up to 20 inches. So that's a pretty big shock. Or it goes down as small as 7 7/8 inches. So quite a range of adjustment with this setup. So let me see what we need for my application. So center to center, I need 12.5 inches. So it looks like right there. Looks like I just put 2 bolts in there and call her good. Oh, and one other thing you get, which is really cool. These guys here, okay? Notice they got a little notch on the end, okay? And what these do is, these would go, like say, like right here and right here, okay? You bolt those on with one of the supplied bolts. Then what these do is, you can either use a rubber band, or I was thinking maybe like one of these little stubby bungee cords. You know, the ones you get when you order a kit and you get a whole bunch of these and you go, I don't know what I'm going to use that for. I mean, I want a bungee cord. But I think these little guys, they'll hook into here. And what these do is they simulate the width of the coil. So with this thing in the truck and you're fabbing your exhaust, say, and you're trying to figure it out, well, I don't know exactly where the coilover is going to be. You put these things on there, and it kind of gives you a visual reference of, okay, that's about that wide, so I need to make sure my exhaust misses that. So I really thought this was a super cool idea. So great idea. I guess you could put it on the bottom if you wanted, so it doesn't really matter. So let's put this together and see how it works. You get the flat washers, everything you need. So it looks like, let's see, let's find this dimension again. So I got 5/8 studs, so I'm going to go from the big hole to the big hole. Okay, 12.5 inches, looks like about there. And let's see here, I'm thinking I'm going to put washers on the bolts, and go through there and through this one, and then washers on the back side, looks cooler. Okay. Got that, and then got these guys here. Put those on the back side also. And let's see. I can't get a washer on both of them. So I'll just use, because they're too close together. So I'll just put one washer on that. Oops. And you can, like, obviously flip these different ways, so depending on, but I think I need more length, so we'll see. And then another nut. Kind of get them all cinched up before I tighten them down. And I think I put one washer on the bottom one. So I will do that again. Okay, that looks pretty good. So let's tighten these up. Oh, I was going to be able to use a ratchet wrench, but they're so close together that. Okay. I'll put that on that side. That'd be better. And tighten this one up. Tighten this one up. Okay. Here's what it looks like. Okay, pretty simple. Really a nice, simple, clean idea. I really like it. And I like being able to locate just visually, you know, where the coils are on the coilovers. So pretty simple design. What's cool about this is, like, I could have taken a piece of flat steel, drilled some holes at 12.5 inches and called it good, but now I got a tool that I can use on all kinds of projects. Anytime I want to work on something, I got a universal tool for setting up ride height. So pretty cool. Check this out, guys. Paul Horton Welder Series. I think you will. I give it the Idaho Fabricator's stamp of approval. I'll put these on later. Let's go over to the truck and let's install these and see how it looks. All right. All right, we'll start on this side. That's tight. Nylock, you gotta get it out of the nylon before it'll come loose. Okay. That. Yeah, that one. I didn't have these tight because I knew I was going to be taking them off and on during the setup. So. And now let's see. Okay, let's raise this up a little bit. Find the sweet spot. That's that spot right there. Okay. spacer there. In the bracket. Okay. Now, let's see if this other spacer is going to work. Oh yeah, perfect. Okay, so 12.5 inches, and I had it on this lower hole, so we are going to raise this up until I'm at ride height. There. Yay. Put a nut on it. Okay, then I can take the tension off. I got the other side on, so we got ride height established now. And looks pretty cool. And I wanted to show you what these bungees, how these work. Okay, so this is the, this is a 2.5 inch exhaust pipe, all right? And so the purpose of the bungee is it gives you a visual picture of where the coilover is, depending on what side I'm going to go with. I don't know yet, but you can see here that, okay, let me put this down. You see how the bungee is almost as wide as the coilover? So it kind of gives you a nice visual reference. I really like that. That is a great idea, super idea. And so let me show you kind of a segue into the panhard bar that I did on my last video. So let me show you what I was talking about, because I think this might be a better visual representation. So you'll notice here that it looks like it's about 1 degree of angle on the axle shaft. And that's just because the hoist, I have the lift, and I may not have the adjustment arms, perfectly level on both sides. So I'll show you that. And then notice here's another angle finder on the panhard bar, okay? And so I'm at ride height now, so I'm going to raise this up. Except these things are, I'm going to raise this up until I have the same angle here that I do here. And that's going to be where I'm going to weld these tabs onto the frame once I get them sized properly. So I hope that makes sense. I think sometimes the visual aid makes more sense. So that's that. There's my ride height adjusters. I'm really stoked about it. And I want to give a big shout out to D.W. Horton for his suggestion. Great idea. Love the product, man. Well, I wanted to finish up my video by showing you the aerial view so that you could see how everything lines up from up top side. The panhard bar, nice and straight. And I just got a little adjusting on those weld tabs to get those to fit really nice on the frame, and I'll weld those up. But that's what it looks like at ground zero. And why don't you pan back and show them the ride height? I think it looks pretty cool. You got to visualize like 13-inch wide back tires, so got to use your imagination. So, but anyway, that's the end of this video. And again, I want to thank everybody for watching. Thanks so much for your subscriptions, helping my channel grow. It's great. And I really appreciate it. Be safe in your shop today, guys. Anytime you're out there, take care, and I'll see you next time at Idaho Fabricator.